We're focused on actually reducing costs for American consumers at the pump.
We as a country must work to break our addiction to oil as quickly as possible.
Is to curb our dependence on oil and transition to renewable energy.
Legitimate response.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Got another episode of Legitimate Response. Some more congressional bullshit. Yeah, we got another congressional hearing going, and the polarization in Congress is nuts. You'll see I got two Democratic congressmen and one Republican congressman, and what they say is like the complete opposite of each other. It kind of shows you where our political system is these days. They can't seem to agree on. They're questioning some oil executives from the big oil companies in the country. And pretty much what I got is their opening statements. It's the Democratic Party is fighting hard against the oil companies. They really want to get rid of oil and gas, like really, really bad. And they're coming at it like, well, we're fighting for better prices and, we want to bring the prices down at the pump and all this and that stuff. Well, they're not. You're going to hear them say, yeah, we want to bring the prices down at the pump. But what they're actually saying, and they're going to back this right up, is no, we want to get rid of gas completely and just go to all electric vehicles. Well, that's why California is trying to ban gasoline-driven vehicles by the year 2035. And Joe Biden's already said several times that he wants to get rid of gasoline-driven vehicles. So, yeah, they could care less about the price at the pump. They want you to buy an electric vehicles, and they're giving all kind of subsidies and incentives to do so. The infrastructure for electric vehicles isn't there. I mean, California itself is in a energy shortage, and they want you to get off your gasoline car to plug your car into the wall, and they can't supply enough power to your house, much less power your car too. Now, I don't know if the whole country is like that, but I imagine you start plugging all these cars in, you're going to have some drain on these energy plants, and we're going to be in a bind. But that's what they're doing, and then the Republicans are going to come on and say the totally opposite thing. And it's just crazy. Let's roll the clip, and you see for yourself. Here we go.
Big oil is lining their pockets with one hand and taking billions in taxpayer subsidies with the other. Meanwhile, the American people are getting ripped off as these companies choose to keep production low so that their own profits stay high. The American people are understandably fed up with these prices, and we're here today to demand answers from Big Oil about when they will finally start providing the American people some relief. As oil prices rise and Americans are hurting, the 6 oil companies testifying today made more than $75 billion in profits between them last year. If these companies really wanted to do something about high gas prices, they would put their profits to work by increasing supply. Right now, the oil and gas industry has more than 9,000 approved but unused drilling permits, and they should focus on using them. The problem is not a shortage of permits or land. Big Oil is choosing to keep supply low, prices high, and their pockets lined. But Americans are still subject to the actions of the big oil companies. And Democrats have a different plan. We're focused on actually reducing costs for American consumers at the pump. And today, we also demand, or we're also involved in enacting 21st century all of the above policies that will give consumers real options, not just a 1970s choice between oil, diesel, and gas. The best way to protect Americans from oil price spikes is to curb our dependence on oil and transition to renewable energy, which is more stable, affordable, and generated right here at home.
See, and there it is. They say they want to bring the price down, but they want you to buy an electric vehicle. Crazy.
So Democrats have worked hard to bring real energy security to the American people. We've devoted billions of dollars to the Weatherization Assistance Program to reduce energy costs for homeowners and the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program to offset rising energy costs. We've invested in electric vehicles to give consumers a choice and make high gas prices a thing of the past. And just last week, as mentioned by Chairwoman DeGette, President Biden announced an unprecedented release of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to help drive down prices for American consumers. So we've done our part, or we're doing our part, to try to produce or have more oil available on the marketplace. But now it's time for Big Oil to take some action to reduce the pain at the gas pump.
It's just funny. It may be a coincidence. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but you know, it's real funny that they bringing these people up in front of this congressional hearing right before a midterm election when the Democrats are kind of on the losing end. We got high gas prices, inflation is off the charts, the stock market's going down, we in a recession. Yeah, kind of convenient, ain't it?
Including by releasing up to 1 million barrels of oil per day from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
Sorry, I gotta open my mouth on that one. To be honest, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They call it the Strategic Oil Reserve for a reason. It's strategic. It's for our military. If we have to go to war, we don't have to worry about oil. They wanted enough in reserve to where we can fight a full-out war and not have to worry about getting our oil supplies cut. And if we're dipping into that for everyday people just to bring the gas price down a few cents, that doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather pay 10-15 cents more per gallon and have that in reserve just in case. But that's just me. You might look at it different. That's how I look at it, though. It's a stupid maneuver, but it is the Strategic Oil Reserve for a reason.
And now it's time for Congress to do whatever it can to help alleviate the pain that too many Americans are feeling at the pump. If this crisis has showed us anything, it's why we as a country must work to break our addiction to oil as quickly as possible. And it's reinforced the urgent and existential need to transition to a more sustainable energy future. For the sake of our economy, our environment, and our national security, we must work as quickly as possible to go to that clean energy future.
So yeah, that's what they're screaming. Yeah, we want to bring the price down at the pump, but you know what? You don't have to worry about that if you have an electric car. That's what they're saying. And unfortunately, personally, I can't afford an electric car. I would have to buy two, one for me and one for my wife. Can't do it. They're way too expensive for me. I could care less about some rebate or tax credit I get. That ain't gonna help me get a car. And all these other rebates for making your house sustainable, getting solar panels or whatever, I can't afford to do that either. So none of that stuff that they're saying is gonna help me and people like me that can't really afford to do that. So it's a big gaffe if you ask me. But you wanna hear the other side? Here's the other side.
On day one, the administration made clear that it would do all that it could to shut down America's energy production by canceling the Keystone XL pipeline. Later, the president imposed a moratorium on fossil energy development on federal lands and increased pressure from financial regulators to halt fossil fuel investments. And he has no plans of stopping his assault on the energy industry, even while gas prices skyrocket and allied countries cry out for new energy sources. President Biden continues to announce new taxes and initiatives that are designed to shut down domestic production. One of the first actions of the Biden administration was a ban on new oil and gas leases on public lands or in offshore waters, signaling a desire to restrict growth of domestic energy or oil production, and did so almost immediately. The administration made it clear that federal acreage is not open for business.
Now, the one thing I can say about that Republican congressman is at least he's putting more of the truth out there. Biden cut off the Keystone pipeline. As soon as that was his first thing he done, as soon as he came into office, he cut that off. Boom, no more. He stopped building the wall. We've been paying for that contract because there was a contract to build that wall. We were paying for that every day they weren't building it. Yeah, paying for nothing. Paying for him to build the wall, and they weren't building the wall because he didn't want it built. But this isn't a border video, so I'm gonna get off of that one. But he cut the Keystone pipeline, but he let the Nord Stream 2 go. He didn't care about that one, the one in Germany coming from Russia, which we just blew up. And if you believe that, they're trying to say Russia did it. Well, that doesn't make any sense. if you look at all the evidence, which I'm going to make a video on that one, if you look at all the evidence, you'll come to your own conclusion. But yeah, Biden has gone after our energy like crazy. And he even said it in his campaign run that no, he was going to stop all new drilling on federal lands. He was going to stop all new leases. Yeah, they may have 9,000 permits for those leases to drill on, but they've already been explored and there's nothing there, so there's no reason to drill on them. That's why they're not drilling on them. So that's stupid, and you'll hear them throw that up, and it's BS. He's given all these subsidies to these electric car companies, which a lot of them also do gasoline vehicles. So what's going on with that? I mean, we get rebates, but that, once again, like I said, that's only if you buy an electric vehicle. I'm not in the market to buy an electric vehicle. I can't afford it. So what am I gonna do? Thanks, Biden. But that's all I got for this one. They trying to screw us on this gas thing, and I just hope we turn this around in the midterms. Like I said, get some real politicians in there, some people that ain't really politicians. They're real people that are actually trying to do some good, and maybe we can change this thing around. Let's get this thing going. So that's all I got to say for that one. Stay positive. Peace.